All right, so we have a lot of announcements going on right now. So if you did not hear on our family call last night, which is every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern time, on Mark Pentecost, who's our CEO, his Facebook page, he always talks about, the things that are going on in our business. He always talks about announcements. So we had massive, major, huge announcements the other night or last night. And he said that we have pick 2 and pick 3. They are back. So if you were here last month and you remember that, you're going to be like, what? That's so exciting. So y'all know it's huge. If you were not here last month, then it is 2 items that are on the list, which is most of our products. It's not all of them, but it is most of them, and it is definitely our most popular ones. They're all on the list, and it's pick 2 for $59, or they can get 3 for $75. I know we have some Canadians on here. That is US dollars, but they also have that for you just in your currency too. And so that is so exciting, but then that was like not even the biggest news. The biggest news is that right now you can enroll 6 customers this week from today until the 14th. And for every 6 customers that you bring in, you get an extra $100 just because. Doesn't include your bonuses, doesn't include your commissions, doesn't include anything. It is just extra because we can. It's because we're a debt-free company and they're able to give away as much money as they want to, and they just want to bless us during this time. And so I am so excited for that. So I want to hear where your energy level is. Give me some numbers in the chat. Are you a 1 through a 10? A 1 being I don't really have that much energy. 10 being like, I'm ready to go. I'm through the roof. Carly is at a 1 trillion. That's awesome. And if you're not at a 10 and you have had some life happening, I just challenge you to throw that to the side right now, even though it may be hard. But I just challenge you to put that aside and just know that you are here for a reason. And there is a reason why you're on this Zoom. There is just something to be thankful for. And there's just so much to learn here. So just take this time for what it's worth, and don't take it for granted, and just truly use it to help further your business and to help you help you get where you want to go. Okay, so I'm super excited about all these announcements. Tell me how many customers now in the chat that you're gonna get this week for the $300 or the $100 bonuses. Are you gonna get $300? Are you gonna sign 18 customers? Are you gonna sign 12 customers and get $200? Oh my gosh, Riley already has 5 customers. Holy crap. Hannah signed 6 today. Yes, Christian's gonna get $200 because she's gonna enroll 12 LCs this month or this week. That is absolutely insane. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm shooting for 18 if y'all want to know where I'm going. That is my goal. I signed 1 today and I just got 2 people's phone numbers. So I'm working on it. I'm hustling. Okay. Let's get started. So most of y'all know my story. If you don't, I joined this business 5.5 years ago. This business has changed my life. We've been able to do everything we never thought we could. We've paid off debt. We've been able to meet new people. I love leading this team, and it's absolutely just such an honor and a pleasure to be able to do that. And we're going ambassador this month. And yeah, that's my story in a nutshell, because I want to give these girls like the spotlight and give them the opportunity to share. So Carly, you're the first one on my screen, so I'll just unmute you. And y'all can keep yourselves unmuted as long as it's like quiet or whatever there, because it's not going to let you unmute. So I'm just going to ask you to do that. And I'll go ahead and unmute you, Emily and Sarah, too, if y'all just want to accept that unmute. So Carly, go ahead and tell us where you're from. Tell us a little bit about your story, and then tell us how many distributors that you signed up last month, and we'll kind of go from there.
Okay. Hey guys, I'm Carly. I'm from Starkville, Mississippi. I joined this business like 10 months ago because I was just dying to have extra cash, and I was like, well, there's no risk. I'll do it, whatever. So I dove in. I had a slow start. I really got it kicked off in February of this year. I went diamond this past month, and I'm going double this month. I'm super excited about that. And because of this business, I have been able to quit my dead-end job that just gave me so much headache. So now I get to do this full time, and it's just super fun, and I love it. But you said, what'd you say?
How many
distributors? Okay, I enrolled 7 distributors last month, all like towards the end of the month, because So I was talking to Morgan one day, and she was like, "What are you doing to enroll distributors?" And I said, "Well, I'm posting on Facebook every day." And she was like, "Do all the things." And I was like, "Okay." So if I have one giant piece of advice to give y'all, do all the things, because I was doing good enrolling my 3 distributors a month. Um, from Facebook posts, just kind of from attraction marketing. But I was missing out on so many blessings because I was not doing TikTok. I was not going live. I was not doing Instagram stories. Like, I was not doing all the things. So in one day, I enrolled 6 distributors. Most of them were from TikTok. And let me just say, if y'all do not do TikTok right now, just go in and do it. Just like start it, because I honestly downloaded it and I looked at it and I was like, okay, I'm going to do a TikTok. Heard everyone say do TikTok. And I looked at it and it was unfamiliar to me. And I was just like, nope, I'll figure it out eventually. And I just said, I just like did not do it. And I don't know, I know that I have missed out on so many blessings because of that. So dive in, learn how to do TikTok, like go do some of the things that I'm doing on TikTok or Morgan's doing on TikTok. And I know there's a ton of other leaders out there that are like killing it with TikTok. But yeah, that's all I have to say, I think.
Okay, perfect. So we can come back to, because we're going to do some different questions and things like that. And y'all can drop all of your questions in the chat so that we can come back to those at the end too. But speaking of TikTok, Sarah, tell us a little bit about you, because I actually found, or she found me on TikTok, and that's how we got connected. So Sarah, tell me where you're from, a little bit about your story, all that good stuff, and then tell me how many DTs you signed last month.
I'm Sarah. I am from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I saw Morgan on TikTok probably 2 or 3 times before I reached out to her. And that's part of the reason why I think it's so important to be consistent, because you get interested the first time, but not necessarily do you ever reach out the first time. And I don't think I texted her until the second or third time. And even after that, like, it took me a couple weeks to sit on it. I mean, I probably ignored her once or twice, just probably how every single one of you have ignored whoever enrolled you at first. And so I'm pretty sure I enrolled 7 distributors last month as well. And I dove headfirst because I was like, I want my money back. Like, I am not sitting here playing games. If I'm going to spend $100 to do something, I'm going to do it. And so I started doing everything possible. I think the last thing I started doing were TikToks and going live on Facebook. I just did that for the first time this last week, and it's still out of my comfort zone a little bit. But everything else, I was like, you can't apologize for your business and you can't apologize for making money for it. So I was doing Instagram stories, and I found it very important to be interacting with people. So not only just posting, hey, here's a sale, hey, here's a new product, you know, what do the people like, you know, so that way you can see where your audience is at and what they're interested in, because the more you post about it, probably the more sales and the more customers you're going to get. So I do a lot of polls on Instagram stories. I do a lot of questions, and I try and remember that this business does not consume us. It's an additive to our life. So it's just another part of our story that we just incorporate every day. So instead of being like, hey, drink your Hydrate Plus, you know, hey, it's hot out today, I just went for a 4-mile walk, I'm going to drink my Hydrate Plus. By the way, it's 2 for $59 or 3 for $75 if you would like. That sounds much more pleasing, and people are much more appealed by that. And so I think it's really just finding the avenue and watching your leaders and other people post as well. You're going to learn from each other instead of just shoving things in people's faces, because that's what turns them off. But I think, did you ask me anything else? I think that's it.
No, that was perfect.
Okay.
I love too what you said. What was it? The additive thing, that was really good, but there was something that you said before that. Shoot.
It's a part of your life, it doesn't consume you.
Yeah, there was something else though before you said that. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it'll come back to me. I really wanted to remember what it was and say it again. I don't remember. Anyway, it's fine. But yeah, that was so good. And I like that they are all talking about, like, I didn't wait till I was super comfortable with this. Like, I just did it anyways. Like, none of them so far have said, like, yeah, like, so I got really comfortable with TikTok and then I made one. They were like, somebody told me to do TikTok and yelled at me a little bit, so I did a TikTok, and it's, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't apologize about getting paid. Yeah, you said that you can't apologize about your business and you can't apologize for getting paid for it. Yes, Jacob, thank you. That was what it was. Okay, Emily Skodney, tell me who you are, tell me about your story, and tell me how many DTs you enrolled last month.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Emily. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. So I was actually in the business before. I was in the business for 2.5 years, and then I stopped working my business for about a year. And to be completely honest, I don't know what happened. It might have been just life, and I stopped really loving my job, but I just randomly got the urge to want to join the business again. And I knew if I was going to do the business again, I was going to join with Morgan. Like, that was just already something when I was in the business before that was kind of in my brain a little bit. So I like messaged her one day. I was like, hey, I want to sign up. Just please send me your website. But so that was in March. So my team just went diamond last month, and we're pushing for double diamond this month, which I'm so excited about. And I signed 9 distributors last month, I believe. But like, short and sweet, I do all the things just like everybody else does. But I think one of the most important, well, 2 of the most important things is I work a full-time job too. I'm sure as most of you do, or some of us do. And I try to just make sure that I incorporate that into my posts and my, like, when I'm talking to potentials, so that they don't necessarily feel like this is something that they have to quit their job, or they have to do this full time, or they have to spend 12 hours a day on their phone. I think that's something really important, that we like to like project the dream, and it is the dream. Like, I want to be doing this full time, but that's not everybody's thing. And also, so many people are busy. Even if you're not working a full-time job, people are parents, people have things that they have to do. So like, the minuscule thing that I try to do in every single one of my posts or when I'm talking to somebody is let them know, like, you can do this even though you're busy. Like, when I originally did the business before, I was working 3 jobs and I was in school full time. And now I'm working 40 hours a week and I'm still successful in this business. So I think that's something that like we don't talk about enough, is that you need to make other people feel like it's going to be normal that you're busy, but this is something you can still, when you're still be successful with while you're busy. And the other thing is, since I joined at the end of March, I have a list of like at least 250 potential distributors that were very interested and either ghosted me or just stopped responding, or ended up for some reason saying like, just not the right time for me. And I have that list of every single person. And even though they might have like said no, or they straight up ghosted me or whatever it was, like, I am constantly like interacting still with their posts. I still reach out to them sometimes over text. Like, I have a relationship with those people, or some form of interaction with them on social media. So like, the people that are telling you no, or the people that are like straight up just like didn't respond to your last 5 text messages, that's okay. Like, that's normal. And this business isn't for everybody, but if it is, eventually they'll come back to you. So I think it's important to keep and I'm very red. I am not detailed. I could not tell you how many customers I enrolled last month. Like, literally just now when Morgan asked Carly how many DTs, I was like, I have no idea. Let me go check my eSuite really quick. I'm like, I literally couldn't tell you. So like, but with distributors and potential customers, but obviously potential distributors, like, those are people that potentially you could have relationships with for the rest of your life. Best case scenario, they join the business and they do this for life, or even if it's just for a season, like, these are people that you want to create genuine relationships with. So keep a list of the people you talk to if you're not doing it already, even if they ghosted you, even if they did that, like, just keep having a relationship with them. So I think that's like 2 of the most, I guess, random tips I have, is keep a consistent list of the people you're talking to, and just be real. Like, if you're working a 40-hour-a-week job and you're doing this, and even if you're brand new, like, let them know, like, you can do this in an hour a day. So try to just tell people that when you're posting or even talking to them.
So good. Yeah. And I need to write down what I like that y'all say, because I always forget after you like stop speaking.
Same.
Oh, I remember what it was. You said that people tell you no, but then they come back and say yes. I've had a lot of people ask me in the past, like, when do you mark somebody off your list? Like, when do you stop following up with them? I'm like, until they order or they block me. And even if they block me, I won't take them off my list because some of y'all have blocked me and unblocked me and joined. So I don't ever take anybody off my list, like ever, 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 because you just never know.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I always joke that me and Emily are the same person. And literally, if y'all saw me with my head down for 2 seconds, it's because I was counting up how many DTs I signed last month because I was like, I don't even actually know. But the reason why I had them say how many DTs they've signed is because I want you to see that these are normal people. Some of them are emeralds, and 2 of them are diamonds, right? Like, it's not that they're like ambassador diamonds signing 7 to 9 distributors a month. If you're somebody who is a ruby or you're a diamond or you're a brand new distributor, you can do this too. You can enroll distributors. And so that's where we want to talk about our mindset. But I kind of wanted them to give you those numbers because I wanted you to just for them to have some kind of like, for you to see that they really do, that there's a reason why they're speaking on this Zoom, okay? That they've earned their spot to speak here. And it's not that nobody else has. There's so many people that have signed so many distributors, but so that's why I had them do that, just so that y'all could like see them and how many people that they're enrolling. And just so y'all know, because I always choose to lead from the front, y'all will never see me doing anything or telling you to do something I'm not willing to do myself. I tried my hardest to be the number 1 enroller on our team always, because if I'm not showing up, I would never expect you to show up, and I do expect you to show up. So I enrolled 17 DTs last month, and I have gotten every single one of them fast started. I've gotten every single one of them. I've helped them get their shopping sprees, and my girls this month have all gotten their shopping sprees as well. So I know that you can do this, but I want you to know that these are the people that are teaching you right now. So like, there's a reason why we're here sharing our tips, is because we do know what we're doing, and not in a cocky way, but in a confident way to say, hey, I can promise you that if you do what I'm telling you to do, I can show you how to be successful. I can promise you that if you are willing to do the steps and the things that we're teaching you tonight, you can do this too. So in the shopping sprees, whenever you get 6 loyal customers in your first month, so then you're able to get that $150 shopping spree to spend on anything that you want in the whole entire website. So, okay, so let's talk about mindset, because we kind of were getting into that too. So let's talk about mindset behind getting distributors. Number 1, I want to say too, like, we're helping people change their lives. I hear a lot of times, like, I just can't get DTs. I'm like, well, there's your first problem, because you're looking at it as getting DTs. You're not getting DTs. You're waking up in the morning saying, whose life can I change today? Who can I help today? And like Emily said, I am as red gets. And if you don't know the color personalities, red is very like goal-oriented, money-driven, very like, that's a red, okay? Yeah, they don't wake up in the morning thinking, who can I help today? Like, unfortunately, that's not how we think, but you can train yourself to think that way and to think, who can I help today? And it doesn't hurt whenever you see other people join your business and you see their life change. So Emily, for example, and I'm just using you because you are a red, and Sarah is a secondary red, and Carly is a primary red too. So, most of us have red in us, but so I know that like Emily may have started out being like, I need to get DTs, but I'm just seeing Nicole Thomas on here. So Nicole Thomas went Ruby last month, and hi. And then whenever she saw Nicole like doing all these things, and she's like, well, I want to help Nicole go Emerald. Like, whose life can I help her change? And like, how can I change more people's life? Because like, I see the relationship and the friendship I have with Nicole and how much this has helped her be able to do different things for her life. So now I want to go do that with other people. And then now Emily saw her paycheck today, and she's like, I want other people to feel like this. I want other people to see what I just saw, because if I can do this, other people can do this. And then it just starts to snowball where it's no longer about you at all, because you're where you want to be, but you want to help as many people get there too, and do it faster than you did it. And so it's really helping people change their lives. And I truly believe if you're somebody who's like, I am doing that, I'm doing TikTok, I'm doing the Facebook lives, I'm doing the Instagram polls, I am being really, consistent with my follow-ups, I am doing all those things, and I've been doing it for 3 to 4 months consistently every single day, then your mindset sucks. I'm just being real with you. Because if you're doing all the other things and there's nothing that you're missing, then you don't have a good mindset. And that's how much a bad negative mindset can hold you back. So much so that it could be the only thing that you're missing and you won't have the results that you want, which is also so huge because if that's the only thing that you can flip and you flip that switch, it can change that much for you that quickly. And so my challenge to you is to get through, yes, you're just going through the motions. If you don't have that excitement and that energy and that passion to help people, and you don't have that mindset waking up every day, like my next rock star is out there. My next ambassador diamond is ready for me to message her. My next diamond is going to come into my inbox today. How many times have you thought that this week? Probably never. And that's probably why you're not enrolling anybody. It's because you're assuming defeat. You're waking up in the morning saying, well, I'm about to message some more people and they're just not going to respond. Or I'm just going to message more people and then they're going to join and they're going to quit. Like, if you have that mentality, then why even try? Like, you've already admitted defeat and you haven't even gotten started. And it sounds funny when I put it that way, but that's what's going on in so many of our heads. And I know that because that was me. I have been there before thinking like, oh, I only signed people whenever I first joined and I was just a one-hit wonder. I can't ever do that again. Okay, like I've been there. But I want you to change your mindset. I want you to change your perspective. Because when you do, it's gonna open up a whole entire new world that you never knew was possible. And it's gonna be people that are literally flocking to your inbox, ready to join immediately. And I can guarantee, I know I had that today. And I can guarantee Sarah, Carly, and Emily have all, and I'm sure so many of you have also had that too. Not to discount anybody else on the Zoom, but just because these are the speakers, like I know that these people come to our inboxes multiple times, but it's because we're attracting that here. We're saying they're going to come to our inbox, and so then they do. So within, so without. So if I'm thinking that inside, then it's going to happen externally. And that sounds so like kooky and like voodoo, whatever, but like it's so true. Your mindset can change everything. And that could be a good thing or it can be a bad thing depending on where your mindset is. So that's my challenge to you. So the last thing I want to talk about before I open it up for y'all to talk about mindset too is the $99 to join. Okay? Let's talk about how amazing that is. Because we every now and then will have some kit deals where you can join for a little bit less. You can join for $50 or $72 or $48 or whatever it was. Like there's different ones all the time. But can I tell you something? Most of you weren't in the business in 2017, but I joined the business in 2014. And from 2014 to 2017, I had gone triple. I went triple diamond last month, 3 years ago. So May of 2017. I hit triple diamond. Do you know when they announced the very first kit deal ever where there was a discount on distributors to get started with the business? 2 months after that. I got to triple diamond with an entire team with a different chart that had more boxes on it than they do now because they switched it to make it easier for us. Who does that, by the way? Like, awesome company. But it had more boxes than your triple chart that you see. And they all signed up for $99. So yes, you can sign distributors for $99. And just because you got a lucky break and you joined for $24, that's awesome. That's great. That's good for you. But and just because you didn't have the money to do that, or if you wouldn't have had the money to pay $99, doesn't mean that other people don't. And whenever people say like, oh, I don't have a lot of money, how much is it to join? I don't have a lot of money, and then you shove a Louis Vuitton bag in their face and you're like, yeah, here, you should buy this. They're like, okay, cool, sounds good. I'm really low on money, but I'll just take one instead of two today. You don't know what people's low budget or don't have a lot of money means to them. It's not the same definition as it is to you. So I never shy away from people who ask me how much it is to start the business. I am excited to tell them it is only $99 to get started with this business. Do you know how much it cost me to start my job as a waitress? $62. That's how much my non-slip shoes cost. Which job do you think I've made more money with? I make more money in a month with this than I did in a year as a waitress. And I only paid $30 more to get started. And so people are like, well, why do I have to pay to join? Because it's a business. But you also pay to join your job because you bought scrubs because you're a nurse, because you bought a hair dryer because you're a salon owner, because you bought a pencil skirt because you're a teacher, because you bought, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you buy things anyways whenever you join a job. So join a business for $99, but you get to decide your paycheck. Count me in. Yes, count me in. Because, okay. So that is something that I want y'all to remember, because I always see this when the kits go back to $99, enrollments go down, and it's all up here. Because guess whose enrollments don't go down? Mine. And I don't say that to brag, but I'm saying because it's a mindset. And whenever people tell me, like, oh, I'll just wait for a kit deal, I'm like, then sister, you may not be as serious about this business as you thought that you were. Because I know for me, you could tell me it was $1,000 to sign up, and knowing now what I know, if I had known that back then, I would have paid $1,000 to get started, because that's how much this is worth it to me. And that's the confidence that I carry. And it's not because I'm a top income earner. I've thought this way since I joined the business, because I've worked at restaurants and I've worked at boutiques, and I see the startup cost there. And it's not $99, and they don't make their money back the first day like Sarah did, selling all of her samples, but didn't know that she had to charge people for them, and then went back and got all the money for them. So people don't do that. You don't start a boutique and start making a profit. But here you can. And so when I tell people it's only $99 to get started, and you have everything that you need to make that money back and so much more with personal coaching from me, I know that I'm offering them an awesome opportunity. It has nothing to do with me, but everything to do with the confidence that I have in it works. So I'll let y'all speak too. Whoever wants to go, none of y'all are yellow, so any of y'all can go, and Emily, I'll unmute you too. So y'all can do whatever. Anybody want to say anything about mindset?
I want to say something really quick to kind of like piggyback off what you said for mindset. So with that, I want to share the difference between the way my business has gone this time, between my mindset and the way it went the first time. Granted, I was a lot younger, not that has anything to do with it. It has a little to do with it, I think. But my mindset the first time I was in the business was what Morgan was talking about, was just, I need distributors. I need to sign as many as possible, as quickly as possible. It had nothing to do with the fact that these are actual people joining that are going to need my help. I could potentially help them change their lives. I was just so focused on I need DTs. That's all I had in my brain. And I quickly got myself chartered for so many promotions, but not a single person on my team, maybe one person, was working. It was miserable. It was exhausting. It was not fun. And this time around, I think I realized from the mistakes I've made before to not repeat those mistakes this time, and to kind of help the girls on my team have the same mindset. But just what Morgan was saying is I knew coming back into this what this business can do for people. So I joined again knowing, and I was already from the start confident enough to start enrolling distributors, but it was because I knew what this business could do for me and for other people. But what I wanted to say is, when you're talking to potential distributors, like I said before, those are people that you could literally potentially be spending years and years and years of your life with, watching them change their lives and their families' lives, and you could create real friendships with those people. So you need to look at it like that. And the other thing is, when you're talking to potentials, they will know if you are talking to them as a number or as a potential person that you're excited to change their life. They're going to know. And sometimes if somebody doesn't join you and they join a different team or they join a different leader, that is probably why. Because you didn't take the time to talk to them about why they would want to do this business. I make it a point when I'm having a conversation with somebody, whether they filled out my work from home application or I'm literally just messaging them or whatever, it's always a point for me to ask, what is this business going to do for you? What do you want out of this? And more often than not, when you ask somebody that question up front the first time, they're going to be I just want a couple $100, or I want to stay at home with my kids. It's normally something small because their mindset isn't as big as it will be eventually. But you need to be asking those questions, because if you're not, and you're just you're going to make a bunch of money and I'm going to help you do it and blah, 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 that doesn't resonate with them. They don't they're not going to have any type of emotional attachment towards you or the business if you're not creating a relationship with them and actually caring enough to ask them that question. Like, I promise you, if you start doing that when you're talking to your potentials, the type of people that are going to join your business are going to be different because they know you care, and they're not going to quit. And if they do, okay. But like, more often than not, they're joining for a reason and they have their why. And that's another thing is, like, I guess a sidestep to this is, like, when you start training your new distributors and you get on your first Zoom call with them or whatever, talk to them about their why one-on-one with them. That's another way to establish a friendship, to actually genuinely know, like, what's going on and why they're here. But like, I literally have a list of all the girls in my team, and next to their name is their why. So like, you need to make it a point when you're talking to your potentials specifically that it makes them, when they're able to share that with you, it makes them emotionally involved and like they know you care. So I think that's something when right now, if a lot of you are new or you're struggling with signing distributors, it could be because you're so focused on it that you're getting frustrated and you're just like, I just want to be chartered for my promotion already. Well, yeah, trust me, I totally get that. But like, if you're so focused on that, like like Morgan said, shift your mindset and like, how many people can I help this month? Like, even if you haven't gotten paid from the business yet, like, you've seen what it's done for Morgan, you've seen what it's done for so many other people. Like, borrow that confidence and that mindset of like, this business is going to take me somewhere. I don't know where yet, but it's going to take me somewhere. And you're going to be able to do that for so many other people. So people know if you're talking to them as a number for your chart, or if you're talking to them as a real human to human and you genuinely care. So like, try and shift your mindset. Even if you are very, very red like me, it took me 3 years to learn this. So don't take 3 years like it took me to learn this, but like, just try to genuinely have a human to human conversation with somebody. Why do they want to do this? Like, what would an extra $500 a month do for them? What would they do with that? Like, ask those questions, and the quality of the people joining your team are going to be totally different than if you aren't asking those questions during like conversations with your potentials.
So good. I love that. Sarah, Carly, do y'all have anything to add?
I can go. I was going to say, to add a little bit onto that, I used to think for the longest time, like, it used to actually be a joke, like my life is a series of unfortunate events.
Same.
Because I believed that. Like, I believed that. And until about like literally like 2 or 3 years ago, I kind of like took the bull by the horns and took my life in my own hands. And I have been the happiest I've ever been, because you are what you claim for yourself. I mean, you can say, well, this is, I've just always had bad luck. This is just who it is, what I am. And it's like, it's totally not. It's your mindset. Your mindset sucks. And to add on to what Emily said about just emotionally investing in people, I think I struggled with at the beginning, and I'm still learning to balance it out a little bit, is, sometimes you have 3 or 4 customers messaging you at a time, or you have a couple distributors that have questions at the same time, and you're just trying to check them all off the list as fast as you can. Instead of emotionally just investing one-on-one with that person, just invest all of your time, 100% of your effort in with them one-on-one, because it's going to be way more fruitful for them, and it's going to pay off for both of you in the long run. Instead of just being like, okay, a quick response here, quick response there, quick response here. Like, you're building long-term relationships and hopefully long-term customers, because if you aren't checking in on them or in your distributors, they're not going to stick around. And so I think my biggest thing was really just being one-on-one with them and giving them all of my attention, instead of saying, oh, I have all of these people I have to reach out to right now. So I think that's something that I'm still learning, but it's definitely super helpful at first.
Yes, 100%. I love that. Thank you. Carly?
Well, y'all like stole everything I was going to say, but that's fine. I was going to say, like, write it down that you attract distributors. Before I signed my first distributor ever, I had a conversation with Morgan, and she told me to start telling myself that I attract distributors that want this business. And I was like, okay, that sounds stupid. But I started doing it, and I literally signed my first distributor. I think it was either that afternoon or the next day. But start telling yourself that. Write it down if you need to. Another thing I had jotted down, Emily and Sarah kind of touched on it, but really talk to your potential distributors. I want to encourage you to stay away from the scripts as much as possible. Like, we do have scripts and they're there and they're super helpful if people ask about something super specific, but don't just follow the scripts. I want to like encourage you to have a conversation with these people because they're real people, and don't make it scripted because they usually know that. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's really good. Okay, so we talked a little bit about how people are finding distributors. So I just wrote some of the things down, like the top ways we talked about how we all get distributors. And that is through TikTok. If you're like, how do you do a TikTok? What is a TikTok? It's like an app with videos. You'll probably know what it is. But if you don't know how to do TikToks, while they're talking, I'll put some people's TikTok handles in the chat. Just take a picture of it or jot them down. These are people that are in the company that are doing TikTok videos about it works. And they literally, I did 2 yesterday, one about the business and one not about the business. The whole thing took less than 15 minutes. And I get so many people from that. And that's how people are filling out my influencer application. And there's YouTube videos on how to make that. And Megan McCabe made a live video on Dare to Be Diamond about how to make an influencer application. So if you don't know how to do that or what that is, search Dare to Be Diamond, the word influencer application. And that's something that's been a game changer for us. So TikTok, huge. If you haven't done that, do it. Some of y'all go live, but you won't do a TikTok. I'm like, bro, TikTok is way easier than going live because you can mess up 87 times and nobody knows. So you should do a TikTok. And I usually I usually don't post every day. But the days I do post, I post 2 or 3 videos at a time, like pretty quickly after each other. So I don't know why that works, but it does. And I don't know where I got that from, but I started doing it and those blew up. So just start doing that, I guess. I don't know. And if that doesn't work, I did not tell you to do that. Okay. Facebook, I get a lot from Facebook, just like posting, like they said, a lot of us, get people reaching out to us because we're doing attraction marketing, which is literally where we're sharing our story and it's compelling people to come and talk to us. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we kind of write our posts. And I love something that Bree said, actually. She was speaking in our new distributor training and she was talking about writing her posts, and this was such a good way that she worded it. She said, I want people to feel emotions. Like, I want people to feel it. And so she's not just jotting down facts like, join my team, $99, you can make $500 a month, like da 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 da. Bree is saying, like, this is changing everything for my family, and I get to stay at home with my son, and I'm able to make an extra income with this business. If you've ever, like those types of things, it's relating to people and connecting with people. So it's before you even get in a conversation with them, like Emily was talking about, connect with them in your posts, and that's how you're going to generate those posts. So we'll talk about how to write those in a second, but literally posting on Facebook, going live on Facebook. It was so funny, and Rachel Morris is on here too, but Carly went live and signed a distributor on Facebook, and Rachel was at my house and she was like, I'm going live. And she literally went live. Y'all, it was less than 10 minutes. She was sitting at my table right there doing it. And she signed 2 DTs that day. I was like, what? Like, absolutely crazy. And she didn't even talk about anything like specific. Like, she just talked about the business. Like, it wasn't anything spectacular or like way thought out. Like, she literally jumped on the, not on the table, but she like sat at the table and she like started talking. It was so easy. Like, it took her not a lot of time at all. Host to post. A lot of people are doing distributor host to post. I do that on mostly Instagram, where I have people post slides, and I got a potential distributor from that today. So I will have them, I'll just show you really quick. So I will post something like, have a lot of stories from today. Oh, it was before this. So I'll post something like this, because we're doing a Yeti cooler giveaway as a team. So I'll post that, and then I'll say, drop your birthday month below, or you can do comment whatever, and I do a text box. And yours can be just like a graphic of a Yeti. And so then people told me their birthday month. And so then I messaged them and I said, hey, I saw that you commented your birthday month or whatever. And I had them post this. I just said, like, I saw that you commented on my post or whatever, all you have to do is post a story to your Instagram. You can do it on Facebook if you want to. And then I sent her this. It's like a story slide. And then down there, it says something about like message money to blank for more info. And I told them to put my Instagram handle. So they put @MorganRenee McIntyre. That's my maiden name if you're like, why is that your last name? And so then people click it and they message me the word money. And then I message them and I'm like, hey, that's awesome. Let me get your number. They give me their number. I give them information about the business. I've signed a couple of distributors from that too. Not today, but like before. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me. So that's something that I do. And then you can do that on Facebook too, where they post about the business. And what a lot of people are doing, and I don't remember who told me this, maybe it was Jenna, but I know Lisa and Emily do this too, Emily Parker, I think, but they, on their distributor hosted post, they put the link to their influencer application in the first comment. And so then they're like, hey, that's like, I'm so excited. If you're interested, like whatever, then they put the link and they're like, fill this out. Insta stories, like Sarah said, I do a ton, whether it's me talking, whether it's a boomerang of me saying like, who wants to earn extra money or something like that. Or I'll do like an Over app story that I created on the Over app. And it'll talk about my journey with the business. And then at the end, it'll have I usually do a quiz instead of a poll, just because for some reason I get way more votes on a quiz than I do on the poll. And the quiz is like the 3 or 4 options. But I'll always do like, I want to earn ... and then I do gas money, grocery money, pay off debt, quit my job, something like that. And so then people will vote. And either way, no matter what they voted, I send them information about the business. And then attraction marketing, like I said, just Facebook posting. So let's talk a little bit about like what you are saying, but not too detailed because we don't have too long, but just real quick, what are some things that you hit on? What are some things that you say? What is like some verbiage that you're like, I say this every time and it's gold, or whatever. And then like, let's talk about what you say in your conversation, and let's talk about a follow-up script. And then at the end, we'll talk about sealing the deal. Okay. So just talk about your conversation and your follow-up really quick. Carly, you can go first.
Okay. I'll first want to say that I always, like I sent this in the chat a second ago, but when you're talking about the price of this business, always put the word only before $99. And then I always mention, like, I've never heard of being able to start your own business for $99. I actually usually send this in like a voice recording because they can hear the excitement in your voice. Like, oh my gosh, it is only $99 to start this business. And I've never heard of being able to do that before. It comes with your business license, your own website, and over $120 or $140 of coffee samples that you can either sell and make your money back, or you can use them for yourself. And then I'm like, sounds good. Make sure you always end everything you say with a question. Like, does that make sense? Or what do you think about that? Make sure you're always like in control of the conversation, if that makes sense. Yeah, I forgot what you asked me now.
That's good. Like your conversation, do you have like a follow-up thing that you use, like specific follow-up, or just kind of depends on the person? Or do you do voice text or follow-up, or you just text them?
So I usually just text them. I'm like, hey, how are you doing today? Like, start a regular conversation. And then I'll always ask, do you have any questions for me? Because sometimes they'll have these thoughts going through their head and like they won't ask you because they're scared or something. So make sure you say, do you have any questions for me? And if they're like, no, I'm good. Great. Let's get you signed up right now because I know you want to do this. So let's start now. Yeah, that's it.
Good. That's such confidence. I love that. Sarah, what about you?
So I would say something that I always say to them, kind of touching off of what Carly said, is at the end of everything, I always say, how does that sound? And I always, because speaking from my experience, I profited on my first day. So I add that in there as a part of my story, like, hey, you can do this same thing. You have the exact same capability. to make $140 in coffee samples your first day. It's not that hard. And so I add that in there because they're like, wow, I want to make money my first day. And then something that I always do with just the follow-up, every time I always just say like, hey, I'm checking in, do you have any questions? But I sometimes ask them if they have any questions more than once, because really just try and pry it out of them, because, some people have that doubt and that fear, and almost like the fear of rejection of people saying no. And, well, I don't have a big following, not many people will buy from me. And I'm like, we teach you how to do all these things. And so I would just say, like, my biggest thing whenever I initially talk to them is I tell them a part of my story, because they want to hear your testimony. They just don't want to hear, hey, it actually does work. You can make money from this, but they want to hear your experience from it, and just being genuine and personal and being open and honest with them about it. It's not going to be easy, but we're here to coach you every step of the way, and being consistent and checking in on them every couple of days or so if they aren't responding. Because you will have every once in a while, you'll have those people that are, hey, they have no questions, they're ready to sign up. But most of them, it can take them 1, 2, 3 weeks, sometimes a month, 2 months, whatever, even longer. And I think my thing is, I always just every couple of days, and if they haven't responded in like a week's time span, I will just let them know about a new promo that's going on. And like 7 to 10 days later, hey, by the way, I know we talked about this once, but now it's $49 to sign up, or so forth. So you could profit this much more right now. And so almost just adding little things here and there that are going to like go in their favor, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that is so good. I forgot to put people's TikTok handles, so I am gonna I'm just reading Carly's thing. I'm gonna put people's TikTok handles, but Emily, go ahead and tell us what you say.
So for most of my potential distributor follow-ups, I'm obnoxious and will send voice messages, because obviously that relationship was already created. They already told me why they would want to do this business or what it's going to do for them. So I'll send a voice message. You can do it on every platform now, so you really should just do it no matter what. But it's usually just something along the lines of like, hey, like, I know you were so excited to do this business with me, or like do this business together, and you told me, you could use the extra income to buy diapers for your son and to pay for gas and groceries. Like, I really want to help you do that. Tell me what's holding you back from getting you started. Like, assume, like, don't be like, okay, like, do you have any questions? Just be like, what questions do you have? Like, what is holding you back? Because there's a reason that they're not responding to you, or there's a reason that they didn't join that same day. So like, just assume and just be like, hey, like, I know you were so excited to do this for this reason. Like, tell back to them what they told you, and just say, I just really want to, understand. I want to answer your questions. Like, tell me what's holding you back. Because more often than not, whatever the reason is, like, they either don't have the money, or like everyone else was saying, they might feel like, oh, I don't have a large social media following. It's always something very simple. That is a very, very normal fear. So just assume, and just talk to them again, like, hey, I was so excited for you to help you with blah, blah, blah. Tell me what's going on. So like, I try to send voice messages as much as I can, just so that it doesn't, like, I use scripts pretty often, but like, I think for that situation, if you've already created a relationship with them and they're not responding to you and they were very interested, there's usually a genuine reason. So I usually send voice messages with it. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, the other thing that I always do when I'm talking to somebody about joining, and we're at the point where I'm like telling them how much it's going to cost. I don't remember if this was, I want to say this is Courtney Boers. I don't remember. I've been using it since I started. But the one thing that I don't remember if it was Carly, if it was Sarah now who said it, but like, I add in, this is the part where I add in what this business has done for me, because I don't talk about that until the very end, where I'm mentioning, like, to get started, it's only $99 to join as a rep with me. Two of the things that I say in the wording, the reason for it is that it sounds like, obviously I'm busy. I have a large team. I work. So this is true, but it's also creating some urgency and a sense of like, oh, like, this really is like, she's going to be spending a lot of one-on-one time with me. And so something I'll say is like, once it gets ordered, I get you started from there. You get all of my trainings, and I'm here to help you through it all. I spend my time with those who are really looking put the effort into this, and I only have a few openings each week to help new members get started, just because I want to make sure I give you the time and attention that you need and deserve to get you off to a good start. Does that sound good to you? Because I do, and every girl on my team, I can confidently say that they feel that I give my full effort to them as much as humanly possible. So that's very accurate, where I'm like, I am going to be giving my time and attention and effort and pouring into you as much as I can. And I want you to know, like, I really only have very limited spots to do that, because I'm only one person. So like, I try and create some sense of urgency for them in that sense. And then that's also the point where I kind of mentioned like what the business has done for me. So like, whenever I first started, which is kind of awesome and like weird now looking back at it, but like the first couple of weeks, first month that I started, like at the end of that message, I was saying my story. So I was saying like, and this business is going to allow me to pay off $8,000 in credit card debt and allow me to make a full-time income and have an extra savings account. Like I was saying, like, this business is going to allow me to do those things. Like, and now I get to say, like, this business has allowed me to pay off $8,000 in credit card debt, and I make a full-time income doing this business, and I have a savings account. Like, I get to share those things, but that's the point when I actually go ahead and share those things with those people, because it's kind of just like confirming the fact that I'm a real person and this business has had real success with me too, and I'm going to help them do the same thing. So that's when I kind of squeeze that information in there, is towards the end when they are about to get started, because it kind of just like, I feel like it has really confirmed the fact that I've had my own personal success with it, but I didn't make it about me. I just kind of shared that blurb at the very, very end when they're getting ready to get started and they're already hyped and they're already pumped about it. And like, okay, awesome. Like, she's going to teach me to do the same thing. So those are kind of the few things. I send voice messages for follow-ups. I share my story at the very, very end when they're like actually signing up. And then I am just honest with them, like, this is going to be a spot for somebody who really is going to be a runner on my team, and I'm going to be giving a lot of time and attention to you. And so we need to get you started right now so that you have a spot this week. So those are the couple of things I have for follow-ups and like kind of sealing the deal.
Thank you. So I can give mine too. So I actually do some things that I don't know if any of you do yet, but you totally should. So whenever I'm talking to somebody about the business and they kind of leave me on the, okay, awesome, well, I'll think about it. Who has had that? Drop a 1 in the comments. If you're like, yeah, everybody tells me, I'll think about it. Okay, well, I want them to think about me when they think about the business. Okay, so whenever they say, well, I'll just think about it, I'm like, perfect. Here's a quick little video. Watch this. It's a quick 6-minute video. Watch this and tell me when you finish. And it's a story about my story. So I literally took a video. I only did it in one take, mistakes and all. They need to see your reel. So don't try to avoid make it perfect. It's literally just this. A college student, I was broke. I lived less than paycheck to paycheck. And that's it. And it's literally just me talking about my story. And at the end, I say, come back to me if you're ready to do this, or tell me what questions that you have. And that's how I end it. It literally took me 7 minutes to make that, but it has so many views because I send that all the time. So, and then whenever people are like, well, I just need to know more about the company, or like, well, I just want to do more research about the company, or I send them my video about my story and they still say, okay, cool. Like, I just want to think about it. I'm like, perfect. Watch this video. And it's the It Works story video that they did on YouTube. It's professionally done by videographers. And it literally is the story of Mark. That's Mark, our CEO. And it just tells like the story about how the company came together, and talking about just like him and how where he's from and all this stuff. And it's such a powerful video. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. I'll put it in our team chat tonight. You can watch it if you want, but it's like 30 minutes. So this one is longer, but if somebody's really wanting to research about the company, they're going to watch a 30-minute video. Okay. So that's what I do to seal the deal. And that actually has helped me so much. So let's talk about setting up posts, and I'm just going to make this super duper quick. I already wrote it out for the chat. So I want you to go ahead tonight, and I know that it's late, but this is where a sacrifice comes in your business. Stay up 10 minutes later, challenge you to do it, and tell me it doesn't change your business. Staying up 10 minutes later, one of Craig Groeschel, he's a guy that I really look up to. He does a leadership podcast. He says, I bring my best and then some. It's what I bring after my best that makes the difference. So tonight you brought your best, but now here's your then some. So stay up for 10 minutes extra and decide before you go to bed that you're going to write your post out for tomorrow. And when you do, I want you to use this. In the chat, it says, what are 10 things, and this is from Nadia, because she was telling me that she uses this to help teach her new distributors what to say, and I was like, that is golden. What are 10 things that you couldn't do last year that you could do this year because of the business? And maybe you haven't gotten your first paycheck yet, but you know that if you keep going in the right direction, you could pay for a vacation for your family, or you could join your family on a vacation, or you could go see your family for Christmas and you didn't get to last year. Or you know that you can sell some samples to be able to give back this Christmas instead of making it all about you, right? Like you're able to give back, or you're able to take some shifts off of work to be able to go see a family member you haven't seen in a long time, okay? Things like that. What are some things that you were worried about last year that you're not worried about this year? And so again, like it's easy if you've made money, think about those things, but if you haven't made $1 yet, here's what I want to tell you. You join the business today, okay? If you join the business today, do you still have the same student loan debt today that you had yesterday? Yes. But the difference between yesterday and today is that you now have hope that you won't be paying minimum payments on them until the day that you die. And that's the difference. You haven't made a dime, but you're doing something about your situation. You're not talking about it. You're talking to your situation, and you're deciding that you're going to make a change. And then it's going to be different. And so that's the difference. So no, I do not put all of those in one post. It would just be split up into different posts, but I want y'all to write those things down. Jot that down. 10 things you're not worried about anymore. 10 things that you couldn't do last year that you get to do. Maybe it's you get to take your family to Disney World. Maybe it's that you get to buy a house. Maybe it's big things. Maybe it's small things, like not having to worry about gas money anymore. Not having to choose the cheapest thing off the restaurant menu. Guys, that's what people can relate to. Like, who's ever done that? Like reading the restaurant menu from the right hand side because you're like cheapest that. Oh. Right? Like, who's ever done that? So make sure that you're talking about those small things because people can totally relate to that. So that's my challenge to you. I'm so excited to see all of your beautiful posts tomorrow. Make sure that you brighten them up with a filter. Make sure that you just make them bright and clean and crisp so that people want to see your posts, okay? All right, thank y'all so much. Yes, Sarah, Emily, and Carly, y'all did awesome. Thank y'all for sharing all of your tips. This was so helpful. I even learned some stuff. I'm like, I need to start doing that. So this was recorded, so feel free to share this with your teams whenever I post it on the team page.